My name's Cody Rivers, and my life's been a dumpster fire since the jump. I don't remember much about the early days, just cold cribs, crying babies, and the sour smell of bleach in St. Agnes Orphanage. I was 3 when they pulled me out. Some lady in a pantsuit telling me I was special and headed for a new family. Yeah, right, that new family was the first of many a revolving door of foster homes that chewed me up and spit me out. First up were the Baxters. They had a farm, 3 mean dogs, and a rule: kids don't eat till the chores are done. I was 4, hauling hay bales bigger than me, hands blistered raw. They sent me back after a year, said I was too moody. Then came the Ortiz family, 5 kids in a 2-bedroom apartment, yelling all hours of the night. I learned to sleep with a pillow over my head. By 13, I'd racked up 9 homes, each one a little worse than the last. The final stop was the Donovans. Rick was a mechanic with a temper, and Sue was a chain-smoking nurse who called me the stray behind my back. They had a son, Bryce, who'd steal my stuff just to watch me lose it. I stayed till I was 18, then bolted with a backpack and a middle finger to the whole damn system. No one ever told me where I came from, just handed me a crumpled photo as I left. A baby me, I guess, in a blue knit cap, held by some blurry figure. It was all I had. Out on my own, I bounced between odd jobs, construction, bartending, even a stint as a bouncer at a shady club. I was a scrappy nobody with a knack for trouble. Then I met her, Leela Hayes. She walked into my life like a storm, and I didn't know it yet. But she was about to blow everything I thought I knew to pieces. It was a sweaty August night in 2020. I was 24, pouring shots at Rusty's Tavern, a dive bar with sticky floors and a jukebox that only played Johnny Cash. Leela strutted in tall, blonde, with a smirk that could stop traffic. She wore ripped jeans and a faded Metallica tee, and she slammed a 10 on the bar. "Whiskey, neat," she said, voice smoky like she'd just smoked a pack. I poured it, and she downed it in one go, then slid the glass back. "Another. You're gonna regret that," I grinned, pouring again. She raised an eyebrow. "Wanna bet?" That was it. We bantered all night, her throwing sass, me tossing it back. She was a waitress at a diner across town, 23, with a laugh that cut through the bar noise like a blade. She'd grown up in foster care too, she told me later, kicked around from home to home, till she aged out. "We're survivors, you and me," she said, clinking her glass against mine. I felt it like she saw me, really saw me. We started hanging out after my shifts, grabbing late-night tacos, racing her beat-up Mustang down back roads, crashing at her place when the sun came up. She was chaos and comfort all at once, and I fell hard. A year later, I proposed drunk on cheap beer in her kitchen. No ring, just a promise. She laughed, said yes, and we got married at a 24-hour chapel in Vegas. Tacky as hell, but it was us. Life was good for a bit. We scraped by, fought like hell, made up louder. I thought I'd found my forever. Then the weird shit started. Married life with Leela was a roller coaster, highs so high I'd forget the lows. Lows so low I'd wonder why we bothered. But it worked, mostly. We'd been hitched for 2 years, living in a rundown duplex with peeling paint and a landlord who didn't care. I was hauling lumber at a construction site by day, pouring drinks at Rusty's by night. Leela was still slinging hash browns at the diner, coming home smelling like grease and coffee. We were broke, but we had each other. Then the odd stuff started piling up. Little things at first, like how we both had this weird hatred for the smell of lavender. Not just a, don't like it, no. We'd gag and bolt if someone lit a candle. Or how we'd hum the same random tune sometimes. This creepy little melody neither of us could place. One night, we both woke up from the same nightmare. A dark room, a rocking chair creaking, and a woman whispering our names. Cody, Leela. We laughed it off, called it married people telepathy, but it stuck with me. The real red flag came on our 2nd anniversary. Leela wanted to frame some old photos for the apartment, so we dug through our stuff. I pulled out my orphanage photo, that blurry shot of me as a baby in the blue cap. Leela had one too, tucked in a shoebox with her foster papers. Hers was a grainy Polaroid. A baby in a pink cap, held by the same blurry figure. Same background, a cracked wall with a weird star-shaped stain. We stared at them side by side, the air getting thick. "Coincidence," Leela said, shoving hers back in the box. "Lots of orphanages look the same." "Yeah," I muttered, but my gut twisted. The caps, the wall, the figure, it was too close. I couldn't shake it. That night, I barely slept, replaying every weird moment we'd had. The dreams, the song, the lavender. What the hell was going on? I couldn't let it go. Leela told me to drop it, "You're chasing ghosts, Cody," but I had to know. I started with St. Agnes Orphanage, where I'd been dumped as a kid. It was shut down now, a crumbling husk in our outside town. I drove out there alone, armed with a flashlight and a crowbar. The place was a wreck, broken windows, moldy floors, files scattered like confetti. I found my intake record in a rusty cabinet. Cody Rivers, born April 3, 1996. Mother unknown. Father unknown. Sibling status, unconfirmed. Sibling status, unconfirmed. My heart thudded. I tore through more files, looking for Lila's. Hers was there too, water-stained but legible. Leela Hayes, born April 3, 1998. Mother unknown. Father unknown. 2 years apart or so, it said. But dates get messed up in the system all the time, right? I stuffed both files in my jacket and peeled out of there, dust kicking up behind me. Back home, Leela was pissed I'd gone digging. What's next, Cody? You gonna accuse me of being your long-lost cousin? She snapped. I didn't laugh. I showed her the files. She went quiet, then grabbed a beer and chugged it. We're not doing this, she said, but her voice cracked. We have to, I pushed. What if we're connected? She slammed the bottle down. Then what? We're married, Cody. You wanna unravel that over some hunch? I didn't have an answer. But the hunch wasn't just a hunch anymore, it was a scream in my head. We ordered a DNA test the next day, one of those spit-in-a-tube deals. Leela barely spoke to me while we waited. The tension was a live wire between us. The DNA test kit sat on our kitchen counter for a week, unopened. Like a grenade with the pin half pulled. Leela kept saying we didn't need it, we're happy. Cody, why ruin it? But I couldn't live with the not knowing. One night, after a double shift and too many beers, I ripped it open. We're doing this, I said, shoving a swab at her. She glared, but she took it. We spat in the tubes, mailed them off, and waited. It was the longest 3 weeks of my life. When the email pinged, we were eating takeout on the couch, some semblance of normal. Lila's phone lit up first. She froze, chopsticks halfway to her mouth. You open it, she whispered, shoving it at me. I clicked the link, hands shaking. The page loaded slow as hell. And then there it was, sibling match probability, 99.7%. Full siblings. Shared parental DNA confirmed. I dropped the phone. Leela snatched it up, scrolling, her face draining of color. No, she said, over and over. No, no, no. This is wrong. They screwed it up. She flung the phone across the room, cracked the screen, and stormed out, slamming the door so hard the walls shook. I just sat there, numb, staring at the takeout going cold. My wife was my sister. My sister. She didn't come back that night, or the next. I called her 100 times, left voicemails till her inbox was full. Nothing. I tracked her down at her friend Tara's place 2 days later. She looked like hell, red eyes, tangled hair, still in the same Metallica tee. We need to talk, I said. She laughed, bitter and sharp. Talk? What's there to say, Cody? We're freaks. We're not freaks, I shot back. We didn't know. Someone messed us up, split us up. We gotta figure out who. She didn't want to hear it, but I wasn't letting go. We'd been lied to our whole lives, torn apart, shuffled through foster care, left to stumble into this nightmare. I needed answers. And deep down, she did too. I started with the orphanage files again, but they were dead ends, just dates and vague notes. So I went bigger. The state foster system. I hounded social workers, bribed a clerk with $50 to unseal old records. What I got was a name, Margaret Peggy Rivers. Our mother. She'd dropped us at St. Agnes in 96, me at 3 months, Leela at a few days old. No father listed. No reason given. Just surrendered custody and a signature. Peggy Rivers. I ran the name online, through every database I could hack into with a buddy's help. Found her in a trailer park 2 counties over, alive, 50-something, and a known drunk. Leela didn't want to come, but I dragged her along. If she did this, she owes us, I said. She relented, arms crossed the whole drive. Peggy answered the door in a stained bathrobe, cigarette dangling from her lips. She looked us up and down, then laughed a raspy, ugly sound. Well, shit, you two found each other, huh? My stomach dropped. She knew. Yeah, we did, I said, stepping closer. And we got married. Wanna tell us why the hell you let that happen? She cackled again, coughing till she hacked up something nasty. Wasn't my call. I dumped you brats 'cause I couldn't handle 2. You're intelligent. She's the one who split you up. Paid off some sleazy caseworker to fudge the dates, send you to different homes. Didn't want you tainting each other or some crap. Aunt Ellen, Leela snapped. We don't have an aunt. Sure you do, Peggy sneered. Your dad's sister. Rich bitch, lives upstate. Hated me, hated you more. Guess she didn't count on fate being a twisted little bastard. Peggy's words lit a fuse in me. And Ellen, some rich chick who played God with our lives, was out there. And I wasn't letting it slide. Lilo was still reeling, pacing the trailer's sagging porch while Peggy hacked and laughed like it was all a big joke. "Where is she?" I demanded, leaning into Peggy's smoke-stink face. She scribbled an address on a greasy napkin, some ritzy town upstate called Willow Creek. "Good luck," she wheezed. "Ellen don't like surprises." Lila didn't want to go. "What's the point, Cody? She ruined us already. Let's just, I don't know, disappear." But I couldn't. This wasn't just about us anymore, it was about why. Why split us up? Why lie? I begged her to come, and after a night of silence and a bottle of Jack, she caved. We piled into the Mustang, the napkin crumpled in my fist, and drove for hours north. Willow Creek was all manicured lawns and McMansions way out of our league. Ellen's place was a sprawling estate, gated, with a fountain out front like some damn movie set. We buzzed the intercom, and a crisp voice answered. "State your business." I said, "Tell Ellen her niece and nephew are here." Silence. Then the gate creaked open. Ellen met us in a marble foyer, a tall woman in her 60s with sharp eyes and a designer suit. She didn't flinch when she saw us, just smirked, like she'd been expecting this. "Cody and Leela," she said, voice smooth as ice. "You've grown up. You split us up," I spat, stepping forward. "Paid someone to bury us in the system." "Why?" She sighed, gesturing to a plush sitting room. "Sit. You'll want the story." We didn't sit. She talked anyway. "Your father, my brother, Daniel, was a disgrace. Ran off with that tramp Peggy, got her pregnant. Twins. When he died in a car wreck, I told her to get rid of you. She wouldn't. So I stepped in after she dumped you at St. Agnes. I made sure you'd never know each other, different homes, different birthdays. Cleaner that way. Cleaner." Leela exploded, fists clenched. "We're married, you psycho. You didn't think we'd find out." Ellen shrugged. "I underestimated your resilience and fate, apparently. But it's done. You're here. What do you want, money? A divorce fund?" I wanted to hit her. Lila beat me to it, lunged forward, and slapped Ellen so hard the sound echoed off the walls. "You don't get to play God and walk away," she hissed. Ellen didn't flinch, just touched her cheek and smiled. "You're Peggy's daughter, all right." We left Ellen's with nothing but the truth and a splitting headache. The drive back was dead silent, Lila staring out the window, me gripping the wheel till my knuckles turned white. Our whole lives, our love, our marriage built on a lie someone else wrote. When we got home, Lila finally spoke. "What do we do, Cody? We can't stay like this." She was right. The DNA didn't lie. The marriage license didn't change it. We were siblings, twins, ripped apart and stitched back together wrong. I felt sick loving her, but sicker thinking of losing her. "We could run," I said, half serious. "New names, new place. Pretend it never happened." She laughed, a broken sound. "We'd know. Every time we kissed, we'd know." The next day, we saw a lawyer. Annulment was the word, quick, quiet, like erasing a mistake. Papers signed, rings off. Leela moved out, crashing with Tara again. I stayed in the duplex, haunting the empty rooms. We didn't talk for months. I'd see her sometimes across the street, at the diner, looking like a ghost of the girl I'd loved. We'd nod, but that was it. Then, a year later, she showed up at my door. No tears, no drama, just her, holding a coffee. "I don't hate you," she said. "I can't. You're my brother." It wasn't a fix, wasn't a happy ending, but it was something. We sat on the steps, sipping in silence. To screwed up kids the system couldn't break. Not completely. Peggy died a month later, liver gave out. Ellen sent a check, guilt money, I guess. We burned it in the backyard. Some things you can't buy your way out of. And that's the end of today's story. Thank you all for watching. Give it a like. And subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new videos. See you next time.